Well, hi everybody and welcome to the Mental Toughness and Body Show. My name is Rob Evans and I'm your weight loss coach, health strategist and internationally published author, helping create an unstoppable mindset for you. Wherever you are in your life right now, we want to take you to becoming unstoppable. And I'm outside today. I'm having a walk early this morning and the rain is getting heavier and heavier. I set out on my walk and it was a nice day. In fact, I'm going to have to put my jacket back on because I'm getting wet through. So today I got thinking about how long can you hang on during this pandemic that we're going through. So Melbourne, Victoria, yesterday we experienced the highest number of deaths that we have in the pandemic. We're now in the second wave. We're in the worst lockdown since World War II, worst restrictions, and we're struggling here as a state. The numbers are depressing each day. It's not getting anywhere, but we're having further restrictions imposed on us with the prospect of, now that we're in week 2 of this lockdown and we're not seeing any dramatic change in outcomes, more questions are being asked of our government and of ourselves as well. And one of the things that is quite perplexing is that the media at the media conferences each day seem to be letting off the leader of our state quite lightly, and the leader deflects with if there is a slightly tricky question. But no one's asking the hard questions about mental health. The influx in call volumes to mental health related call centres has grown massively. I mean, I would have thought a 5% spike in calls is like, oh, that's alarming. 10% is like, we've got a problem here. But when you're up around 30% or more, which is where we are, then we've got a major problem. Now keep in mind, this is people that are just picking up the phone to do this. Never mind all the people, particularly men, that are just dealing with this or trying to deal with it in their own headspace and not doing that very well, because men, as we know, don't talk as much, tend to bottle it up, and we want to be the ones that solve all the problems. So it becomes more and more of a problem. There are suicides, there's a lot of domestic violence that has increased dramatically. The violence against kids as well, them being exposed to this stuff, is just horrible. It's really bad. I mean, what they've done is they've put funding into these call centres and stuff so that they can take more calls. They're allowing people to flee domestic violence and stay in motels and stuff during the lockdown. It's like, this isn't the answer. This really isn't the solution to this. So then if you step away from that and you think, well, how much longer can you go? How long can you hold on? Well, the answer to that needs to be as long as it takes, because this is going to go on and on and on. We don't know how long. Like I spoke about in yesterday's podcast, maybe we'll go a few more months and they need to completely change their strategy and say, wow, we've really got this wrong. We've just got to let it run now. Because, I'm passing some people and you can probably hear the rain hitting my jacket. It's starting to really come down. But we've got to be in this for the fight, the long haul. And you've got to find ways to be able to get through this. And I don't know where you are in the world listening to this, because it's so different in so many different places of the world. Just over the last week, I've connected with people from Spain. I've connected with people from Germany, New York, Los Angeles, and other parts of my country in Australia here. And everybody's in a different place. Some people are largely unaffected because of their work. Their work's unaffected. They're maybe not as in bad restrictions as we are. Interestingly, I'm finding that what we get reported here in Australia as kind of being devastating, when you talk to people in those areas, they're like, no, it's not as bad as it's being reported. So the media have got a lot to answer for, as we all know. But when it comes to yourself, obviously if you've had your work taken away from you, that's a big one. Okay, because particularly for men, because we're not great communicators, but when your work has been dramatically impacted, then that has an impact on your sense of where am I adding value. Now, women are really great at this. Women can see that they add value in many different ways in their own life and other people's lives to make a difference, to keep households running and everything. That's why women are so brilliant. Men struggle with that because they leave a lot of it up to the woman to do. So when they're all of a sudden they've had their livelihood impacted, it becomes very different for them. So what that means is we need to have a greater purpose. We need to keep focusing on how do we keep on moving forward each day. Now, I can only talk in specific detail about what I see is happening in my own community here, but I don't have a feel for how it feels to live in places like Florida. I reached out to a colleague in Florida, and her work has been unaffected. In fact, she's very, very busy, still working 6 days a week, and she's staying safe. But there's thousands of people getting the virus a day. And from my research yesterday and what was happening with the Spanish flu, I can see that that's not necessarily a bad strategy to just let it run. In fact, that's what I think they should do. And manage those in real need very, very well. Which is what they tried to do in the UK, but it got out of control too quickly and they were a bit too slow to respond in protecting the aged. But we've got the opportunity certainly here to do that now. I just think they're too scared to make the decision because they've committed to this and they don't want to be accused of making it wrong. But I'm seeing people around me being very much affected. I have clients that are not impacted at all. I have other people that their families are really, really struggling. So it becomes tough. So I'm reaching out to people, I'm connecting with people, seeing where I can add some difference, getting people to move more, because as soon as you move, you start to feel better. It's kind of a couple of things. I think you get distracted in the action of movement, but there's something of a chemical release called serotonin when you do get out and you exercise with it. Even if it's just going for a walk like I'm doing right now, or whether you're doing the strength training, then your focus goes elsewhere. And when you feel good about yourself, and that's what the serotonin does, it's saying, oh, I'm giving you some happy drugs now because I'm telling you that I'm enjoying exercising. So I release endorphins to say, give me some more of this because I'm really liking it. It's feeling really good. But most people are feeling like they can only do less now because gyms are shut and we're restricted with an hour of exercise a day, and I'm almost up for my hour outside today. The rest of it's got to be inside. The irony of all that is that most people weren't really exercising a lot outside or going to the gym before anyway, like the majority of the population. But when you tell somebody that you can't do these things, then you have a different perception of, I want it. If you tell me I can't have it, I want it. So we got to focus on what it is that you can do, and make sure that you attack that each day with purpose. Because as soon as you let things slide, one thing will lead to another, So a tired decision, and I'm not going to go out today, can lead to, I'm going to make a poorer food choice. That poorer food choice can then make you crave more of that poorer food choice because of everything that's in it and like high energy carbohydrates, like complex carbohydrates like breads and those sorts of things, they can be addictive. So your body then says, or mind says, oh, actually, do you know what, I want more of those things. Then after a period of time, you find that, you know what, I feel more tired now, so I'm less likely to go out and do some exercise because I'm too tired. So then you make the poorer food choices, and you can see that you've started this negative downward spiral of poor food choices and feeling really bad about yourself. So the key is, as soon as you break that, you start to feel better immediately. Like within minutes of being into that activity, you will feel great about it. Now the trick is, don't attack it like you're running a marathon. Just do little bits at a time. You don't have to eat the whole elephant, you know, you just take a little bite at a time. And if that means getting out for 10 minutes and that's all you can handle in terms of time, or you can handle in terms of motivation or whatever, then just do 10 minutes. Well done for today. That's a good outcome. Particularly if you have been trying to start for a period of time and you just haven't been able to. What you want to do is just keep moving forward, keep trying, keep doing a little bit more until it becomes a habit. And we know what we should be doing. Okay, we know we shouldn't eat so much of this and so much of that, or drink so much of the wrong things. We know that we should be doing some more exercise perhaps, but I'd say just get started. Just get started. Because a little bit can mean a lot over a long period of time. It's like a little bit of savings every day can make a huge difference over your lifetime. If you just save a little bit every day, imagine what that looks like over an entire lifetime. It's massive. So you don't have to do a lot every single day. I don't. I mean, I'm focused on my food every day. I'm focused on making sure that I get at least my 10,000 steps in a day to help the maintenance of my back and good for my mindset. But I'm not, and I'm doing like 3 really hard resistance sessions a week. I love them, but I'm not killing myself every single day. But I love the exercise that I do. Now you might say, oh well, even 3 resistance sessions is too much. Well, think about it this way. If you want to live an energized, long, strong, happy life, and you also want to be functionally healthy, but you also want to look good as well, then you must do strength training. There's no excuse for it. You just have to do it. We've just got to find ways that you're going to enjoy the process. And that's really quite simple, to be honest. Like I say, it doesn't have to involve a big amount of time. I do programs for people from 10 minutes up to, I'm past an hour. But most people, I work between 10 to 30 minutes for a home program, because if it's any longer than that, they're going to be motivated on Monday, but by Wednesday they're going to be down to probably half that, and then by the end of the week it's like, oh no, I'll start again on Monday, because most people aren't driven and motivated to do these things by themselves. So I think this is the key. This is the key in keeping you healthy and well, and during these times when it can seem like this is going to be a never-ending process. Well, the Spanish flu didn't last. It did end, and this will too. And whether it ends in 2020 or 2021, who knows? But what you have to do is say, I'm going to do whatever it takes. And in that process, I'm going to look after my mindset. I'm going to look after my health. I'm going to make sure that I'm doing little bits of exercise every day. I'm going to make sure that I'm getting out for my walks. I'm going to make sure that I can put in nutritious foods into my body so that I feel good about doing all of that. And I'm going to stay focused on the things that I can control. And maybe it just gives me an opportunity to do a whole bunch of things that I've never had the chance to do ever before. And now I do. And before you know it, this thing will be over. But you've got to have a purpose every day. You've got to really look after yourself because no one else will. You've got to do it yourself. And as tough as things can be sometimes, somebody is always doing it way tougher. You've just got to hang in there for the fight. And I've got your back. And we'll get there together. Look, you have a great day wherever you are in the world. And I will see you tomorrow. Stay safe. I'm wet through. I'll see you tomorrow.